Interested in starting your own podcast? Well, let me give you a tip. All you have to do is download the Anchor app. And as soon as you download it, they'll give you tips and tricks as to how to start your podcast. It's as simple as going to your Apple Store or your Google Play Store and just downloading the app. Or on your computer, you can go to the Anchor website and just start your podcast. Stop waiting. Go ahead and start your podcast now. Go. What are you doing? Go get the Anchor app. Start that podcast. Hello, my lovely listeners, and welcome back to another episode of A Unique Way with Words. I'm your host, Imani Unique, uniquely Imani, whatever you'd like to call me. So today's episode is going to be called Out of My Alignment. Now, in the last few episodes, I've talked about how certain situations or certain people can cause you to get out of your alignment and out of the path in which that you're supposed to be going on. So what exactly is alignment? I kind of just said it there for those who aren't really necessarily on a spiritual journey, or you are interested in starting a spiritual journey, which I am starting my spiritual journey. And alignment is the path in which you are finding your purpose, or the purpose in which you are put on this earth to have. How the universe has placed your life or ordered your steps in order for you to fulfill the duties that you're supposed to fulfill in life. Oftentimes when you're in alignment, everything is just flowing and you are not trying to control everything in your life. You're just letting things go. You're usually happier when you are in alignment. And when you do step out of alignment, that's when you tend to be more depressed or, not necessarily as happy as you should be. So recently, well, not recently, but I had a period of time where I was on dating apps. Now, I am done. I am over dating apps. I will never try to control trying to find someone in my own hands, because at this point, if I'm supposed to be with somebody, I'm just going to let the universe bring that person to me. I'm over trying to look for somebody. I'm tired of swiping left, swiping right, having conversations that just are draining. It just causes me to be out of alignment. Now, it was a person that I matched with on one of the many dating apps that I did. And he told me, we were talking about like things that we've accomplished and all different things, like our goals and stuff like that. What do we want to do with our life and stuff like that. And he asked me, I told him a lot of the stuff that I have accomplished. Okay, tried to get that out of there. But he asked me, he was like, how are you able to accomplish the things that you've accomplished, or how are you able to do everything that you've done? And I was kind of like, well, since I was younger, I used to kind of like have goals. I'd write it down and then I put my heart and my mind towards it, and then it'll happen. And he was like, well, my life hasn't always been like that. He just started speaking really negatively. And I told him, I was like, well, everything that happens in our life, or every situation that we experience in life is just leading us towards where we're supposed to go. And if we try to control it, then that's when we seem to get let down. You have to learn to accept things for what it is and stop trying to control your life, or you're going to get let down. And when I'm saying that out of my alignment, I realize that entertaining people who are out of my alignment is draining. And it hasn't done anything but kind of like put me in either a sticky situation, a toxic situation, or situations that are just not serving me. But then I have to be thankful for those situations, because some of those situations I did gain a lesson out of, which has brought me here to this point in this to this point in my life right now where I'm trying to seek my own spiritual journey and trying to seek vibrating higher and just being such an amazing individual. Like, certain situations kind of threw me out of alignment to kind of help me get back into alignment. I really feel like without those situations, I don't think I would be where I am right now. Now, don't get me wrong. Early on in my life, I've always been into church, I grew up Christian, and I grew up very spiritual. When I tell y'all I followed the Bible word for word, I went to church multiple times out of the week. I prayed all the time. I was very I would write down everything that I would want in life and just pray over it. And it's crazy because as I look back, those were many manifestations that I was, putting into the world and putting into the universe. It's so crazy to me I was always spiritual, but I was holding on to religion back then. Now I just call myself spiritual, a free thinker. I do believe in God. Like, y'all know, y'all listen to my podcast, you know that I do talk about God and the universe a lot. But it's crazy. Back then, I was really on my path and on my journey. Little did I know, I was really in alignment. And I think what threw me off was allowing negative energies or negative spirits, sex. I could say that. I think allowing sex and those things into my space, I think that's what really threw me out of my alignment. And I think still to this day, anytime I allow sex or allow another entity or another person who has a lot of negative sexual things with them into my life, that's when things are back out of alignment. I swear, I'm telling y'all, that's what I'm realizing. Because I was a virgin up until college. I lost my virginity towards the middle of my first semester in college. And I noticed when I started to become sexually active, things just started to change for me. Things weren't how they were before I got there. Literally, when I first got to Grambling, I was a little bit worried about how I was going to pay for school and stuff like that. I prayed. I prayed. I had other people praying for me, and instantly I ran into somebody who helped me finish paying for the rest of my schooling. And then I started getting my scholarship checks from Vegas. Literally, I was on it. Then I became, sexually active. And I met a boy, and it was a bandmate of my roommate, and we started, I guess I thought we were dating. I don't know what the heck you want to call that situation. And that was the first person I ever did anything with. And I kid you not, after being with him, literally things just started to change for me. I think I was talking to one of my friends the other day about this, but she was telling me that some people carry negative spirits or negative entities on them. And when you have sexual intercourse, that exchanges and you got to pray. Well, I learned that you got to pray those entities off. But when we were talking about that, that just made me think about it. And that's why I wanted to make this podcast. Some things and some people that you encounter in life can throw you out of alignment. And you'll know when you're thrown out of alignment based on the way life starts happening and unfolding. You'll start feeling depressed, or you'll start feeling certain types of emotions that weren't necessarily there. And that just means that these people have you out of your alignment, and these people aren't necessarily meant to be in your life. Now, as I was talking to my friend the other day, we were talking about how when we date, the people that we dated, how they negatively impacted me. And my friend is going to actually drop a video about this soon, but how they negatively impacted us. And I started to think, like, the people who I allowed in my space exchange sexual energies with, if I think about their past and think about the things that they brought to me, I wasn't like that at first. I wasn't the type of person to drink. I didn't really smoke like that. I mean, I had smoked and drank before, but dealing with them caused me to pick up on negative habits and pick up on less, like the last relationship that I was in. I started to become less confident in myself. And I was wondering where that came from, but I know he told me that a past girlfriend was very insecure about herself. And I think what happened is I grasped and gained her energy, her lack of self-confidence. I think that energy came into me, and that's not cool. And I don't like that. And I know if you are spiritual and you do pray and meditate and stuff like that, the best way to get rid of those energies and those entities is to pray, is to meditate, is to remember who you are and whose you are, so that those feelings and being out of alignment can reverse, and you need to get back on track and get back on your purpose. So with that being said, we really have to be mindful with who we allow in our spaces and our energies, because not everybody is good for us, you know. And one simple person can throw you completely out of whack. Like, you ever notice that you are constantly getting blessings and life is just flowing for you, and then you meet a person, and then all of a sudden things just start to turn for the worse. Y'all want to know something funny? I love my mom to death, but when my mom, I swear when my mom got out, I kind of blamed it on her that things just weren't going right anymore. Like, a lot of things just started to change when she came home, and I honestly still to this day think it might be true, but it could be somebody else in my life, but I don't know. I really don't know, but all I can do is pray, and I do pray, and I meditate daily, and constantly affirm with myself that I will continue to receive the desires that I do have and continue to manifest the things that I do want. And don't get me wrong, since I've graduated, since I've moved back to Vegas, things have been getting better slowly but surely, but it's like I also keep allowing negative entities in my life, where it's sexual or not even sexual, probably don't even have to sleep with them, to get that negative connection and then get out of whack, you know. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. I think I'm gonna do another episode about being out of alignment, another like a part 2 situation, and talk about this. Again, if you guys have any questions that you want to DM me, I have my Instagram page now, A Unique Way with Words. And I also have an email address that you can email any questions to. Let's have a girl talk. I really want to do a girl talk, but I haven't got any questions or anything, or anybody asks for advice. I'm pretty good at giving advice. But that email is kimbleimani@yahoo.com. It's my last name, my first name. Thank you guys all so much for tuning into this podcast episode. Again, please share, please promote it, please do, well, you don't have to, but do whatever you'd like to do if you like this podcast. If you show me support, and if you have something for me to promote, I can do the same thing for you. So again, thank you guys so much for supporting. Have an amazing, blessed day. And again, I'm still wishing favor, peace, and blessings over you and your entire life. I'm Imani Unique. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.